So this is the main data set given for data analysis purpose. So this data set need to be cleaned because it having invalid data and all. So whenever you are doing data analysis, then these are things you need to consider while data analysis. Like you have to check for correct data, then the format of data. You need to clean the headers, means the column name uh, should be proper, without any space, without any unwanted characters like that, special characters. So you need to clean the headers. Then you need to check for duplicate rows, duplicate columns, get rid of that. Then you need to check for the unique values, like not unique values, you can say. You need to check for the valid values for particular column. Suppose you have particular column with all integer values and just one value is char, so it will be invalid only, because all other values contains integer only. So like that, you have to clean the that data also. Here first, there are some first 27 rows are not required. So I am just so I have to just delete that rows. So here I am deleting that first 27 rows which are not required, and then with the help of head method I am just displaying the data file, first 5 rows from data file. And here in pandas data frame I have taken that CSV file. You can see that I have given pd.read, that CSV file I read, deleted 27 rows and again displayed just first 5 rows. And now next is we have to just clean the headers. Okay, so we have to check for, here you can see that the columns are different only, and all the columns we want that are in the first row of data set. So I will just make that row as a header, okay, by running that query. So here it became the header. Now these labels contains some spaces, some invalid characters. So again we need to clean them with the help of clean headers function from pandas data frame, which will clean that headers. But here after cleaning also we got some unwanted character like percentage. So I will delete that also, means I will replace that with a I will remove that unwanted characters from headers. And date also, actually date column is there in our data set, but date is like system defined date is also sometimes, many times we use the date variable for that. So in our column also date variable column is there, so it will be conflicting sometimes or confusing. So I am just renaming it with the date one. Okay, so that is done. Then there are quotes, single quotes are there in each data entry. So I will just remove that invalid quotes from each cell with the help of this command, replace command. I am replacing that quotes with null value, means nothing. Okay, I'm just deleting that quotes, means. Then we have to check for duplicate columns or duplicate rows. If there are any duplicate columns, here you return true. That means that there is duplicate column. So actually date is a duplicate column in this data set, so I will remove that date column. Here I am deleting that date column by directly giving the column name. Okay, here you can see date one is there, so I want to delete this column. So I will just run the command drop duplicate, no, that it will get duplicated. Now I am checking for duplicate rows, so two duplicate rows are also there. So I ran the command drop duplicate. Now duplicate rows will go. Now you can see previously there were 3904 rows. Now after deleting duplicate rows also, it became rows, it became 3903. So one row was duplicate, so it got deleted. And the columns were also 23 were there. Now it's 22 columns only, because duplicate column also be deleted. Okay, then we need to check for null for each column, whether null values are present in column. So I have just run the seasonal command for each column. So 0 is written, means no null values in any column, so no need to do anything for this. Then I am just checking here the with the help of info function I am checking the data types of each column in the data set. So here you can see all the columns are object data type. So here you can change actually the data type of variable, whatever required when you perform any operation, whenever you are transferring the set to SQL. So I want date should be date type and the month in type. So I just converted here, try to convert the date to date, actual date, but it is giving some error because in dataset there is invalid date, like 29 to 2022. So 29 February, so it is 2022, so it is invalid date, so that's why it is not able to convert that whole column into date. So first I will remove that invalid date column. Okay, so I have just given that column name, and the value is 29th Feb 2022, and I don't want that row, so I am just deleting that rows in next query. Okay, actually there is another method to do this. That's why that pink color warning is coming, but I will see that afterward. It's not giving error, just warning that you can do that way, like that. So I deleted that two rows. Okay, and now again I will change the data type. I have changed the data type also, and now in that date I want that date is invalid, means 2022 year date na again duplicated in that rows. So I am just creating the date from 1/1/2022, starting from that, and auto populate other rows with the next date till the whole number of rows in the data set. So now you can see all the rows, you can see 2032 also is there in 3009 to the last row, means date is populated automatically if you give the starting date, and just you are increasing it. Then next, while data cleaning you have to check for the consistent values in a particular column. Okay, that means that if particular column is integer, suppose, or it has all the integer values, and in between only it is containing some null value, or you can say like ABCD characters it contains, and all other values contains integer value, so you can say that it is an invalid value, right? So to check that, you just need to run this unique function. For each column you have to do this, run the unique function, and then check for all the unique values and see if there is any different value there, and then clean that row containing the different value. Okay, so here actually column name, I am checking for another column, name was incorrect, so that error, now the error went. So like this you have to check for each column, the unique values for each column you have to check. But I did it for every column, it was unique only, no any invalid data I saw for any column. Okay, so after doing all this, I just need to, my data set is clean now, I just need to convert this data pandas data frame to CSV file. So at last I am just converting that data file to CSV and giving the file path. And I don't want that index column in the output data set, so I just give one index is equal to false, otherwise one more column will get added with the name index. Okay, so this is the created data, this is previous, and this is clean data set. Now this data set will import into our SQL table, will import this clean data set. Previously that name was present, that's why I just renamed it. Okay, so now the table is imported, dataset 1 clean dataset name table is imported. We'll execute first query where we have to find minimum number of days for time when temperature reduced. Here I didn't get that temperature reduced means what we need to find out actually. So I just calculated the 2 days when on previous day temperature was high and next day the temperature was low, like that means first I found out all the rows where temperature is less than 30 degree, and then I just chose the consecutive days, like that. So this is second. So these are the consecutive days, started and ended. You see one where the previous day temperature was more and next day temperature was less, and from this table I just gave the difference should be 1 between 2 days, means that there are consecutive days on which first day temperature was greater, next temperature was less. So here you can find like 2 3 and 2022. Okay, this second 2022 1 2 and 2022 1 3, like it was there. Coming to towards the second query, find the temperature as cold or hot using the average values of the given data set. So for this I have just calculated the average of temperature field, and then depending on the average other values I have just calculated as cold or hot by giving the case. If it is greater than that average it is hot, less than that average it is cold, like that. So this is for the second query. You have got the result as cold or hot. Coming towards the third query, 4 consecutive days when the temperature was below 13 Fahrenheit. So first I found out the rows where the temperature was less than 13 Fahrenheit, and then for that days no date I have calculated the next 4 days. So, okay, so how I calculated that, here I just take out the day field and I created the index column. So if the consecutive dates will be there, then index and day difference will be same, like here day dates are 3 4 5 6, so consecutive days, so difference between id and day is same. So I created this column for found out the difference, then um, I calculated the 4 consecutive days. This was a different query actually. I will just take the correct one. It's inside the different document. So first I have calculated the days when the temperature was less than 30, and I calculated the next 4 days in the next query for that data. Yeah. So here you got the for particular these are the 4 days when the temperature was less, consecutive days, 4 consecutive days. If you check in the file, that is displayed here, day 1 2 3 4. Coming towards the fifth query now. Fifth is average humidity. So average humidity I have calculated according month wise. So for each month I have calculated the average humidity. The next one is average wind speed. So this is also I have calculated for uh, month wise. I have calculated the average for each month. Average wind speed for each month I have calculated. For 12 months it will be there, right? Then the seventh one I have doubt, it could not be done, cannot be done in SQL, so I did it in Excel. We'll go towards the add query. Add query is fetch the details of 4 rows when the average humidity was average gut speed is greater than 55. So I have given that condition in where clause and just calculated the days and the next 4 days for that particular day. So this particular day, day 1, and where the speed was greater than 55, and I calculated the next 4 days in first query. And now for that each days we want the full row. So in next query I just gave input as a that dates which we got in first query, and union I did for day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. So we want next 4 days, no? So 4 days I have given. So this is the ninth query where we have to calculate the days when the temperature was below 0 degree Celsius, means 32 Fahrenheit. So so 853 days the temperature was less than 0 degree. So this was ninth query. Regarding 10th query, we have to create the copy of table and give it a foreign key constraint. So I have created here new copy clean dataset table and give foreign key from the existing clean dataset table. First I copied the data from the table to new table, then I created the index for that new index for that table, and then I given foreign key constraint for the date column to the previous table's date column. Now regarding the fourth one, we had confusion, so didn't do. The seventh we could not do in SQL, so I just know that it can be done from SQL for the prediction of the roads, prediction of the means weather depending on the present roads. So here in Excel you can do it like this. We have to go to data, then forecast sheet, then here you can give the dates in between, what date range you want the forecast for, that you can give here.